Hello everyone, we are from group 23. We'll present about optimization of subsidies BBM distribution cost premium at BBM Wayame Ambon using the milk run method. Okay, before we will present, let me introduce my team. Number 1 is the Garnajib Jatirianto, number 2 Daniel Wibusyawan, and number 3 Fuad Rahani Vandoko. Introduction. In introduction, have 4 point. Number 1, Ambon City is a city located on the island of Ambon. Number 2, there are 8 gas stations in Ambon City. Number 3, the demand for subsidies fuel from gas station range from 19 until 20. Number 4, distribution of subsidies fuel is carried out by direct method. Next. Okay. Identification of problem. The distribution of subsidies fuel is carried out by the direct method so that it requires more vehicle and minimize the capacity of existing vehicle. That led to cost difference in the distribution of subsidies fuel. The purpose of this study is to minimize the load capacity of the vehicle and minimize distance so that it can reduce the cost of subsidies fuel distribution of Wayame Ambon TBBM. Next slide.
Okay, for business methodology method, we begin with the literature review, and then we identify the problem, and then we collect the data, and then we check the data. Are the data valid or not? If the data are valid, we can go to the scaling calculation. We have 3 scaling calculation. If data are invalid, we can come back to the literature review. So from the scaling calculation, and we get the output, we conclude based on the output that we get, and then yeah, that's the algorithm of our research method. For the micro method, we begin with the calculation of the capacity, especially the compartment that our transportation have, and we calculate the total distance that traveled by the transportation, and we determine the distribution time. We calculate the percentage of the truck use, and then for the final, we calculate the cost of the distribution. The core of the micron system is to combine 2 or more shipments into one route taking into account the load of the capacity. According to Nodri, micron concept is one of the most important aspects of logistics. Besides, the micron concept is one of the most conducted research in Indonesia, especially in car manufacture. With micron concept, the distance can be reduced from about 1230.4 km or about 15.23%, and it also increased the average utility of the vehicle by 20.88%. Also, another positive aspect, micro method can reduce the CO2 emissions and other environmental effect. So for the calculation formula, first we calculating the transportation by divided total distance by divided total distance by velocity. and then we calculate the truck occupancy. We sum the travel duration and loading time and the unloading time. And then we calculate the total use of the trucks. The formula is truck occupancy divided by 480 minutes. And for the final, we calculate the total cost. And the formula is total distance points diesel fuel consumption rate point uh, times diesel fuel price.
Here we attach the debit data and the distant battery that we got. Okay, next, initial scenario. In initial scenario, use the direct method. Using 8 vehicle, the distribution travel is 272 km with a total trip duration is 472 minutes. The loading time required is 45 minutes, while the truck time used is 2.48 with a fuel consumption cost incurred worth 4,120 rupiah. Okay, next is scenario 1. Scenario 1 use the milk run method. The total distance traveled is 259.88 km using 6 vehicle. The travel time requirement is 449 minutes. Loading and unloading each takes 60 minutes. Wheel truck use is 2.4. Roasting in fuel consumption cost worth 401 minute. Shorter distance waste option compared to the internal scenario with a difference of 2000.4 km, thus causing efficiency in the fuel used for distribution. Okay, next is scenario 2. Scenario 2 produce the least total distance compared to scenario 1 with a difference of 17 km with the initial scenario, thus making the cost of fuel distribution the lowest at 394 rupiah. This is a comparison of the three scenarios.
Conclusion: from the calculation of two scenarios, the second scenario is the recommended scenarios for Wayame Ambon BBM. In addition to making 8 travel routes into 6 travel routes, this has an impact on reducing the distance used by 17 km, minimizing the travel time by 31 minutes so as to produce a difference in fuel cost of 2,295 rupiah. This of reference we use for research. Final words. I hope you learned something new from our presentation. Thank you for your attendance. Bye bye.